All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Welcome back to the channel. This is Thinker St. James here, and today is the Friday Free for All, where we go over all of the comedy and tragedy from this week in mixed martial arts. As always, I am joined by my good friend and the captain of the ship today, Mr. Chase Parton. How are you, sir?
Dude, I'm all right. It is whatever day it is, Friday. That's always good. We had fights last Saturday and we got some things to cover before we go into the fights for this Saturday. So I'm really excited to cover a lot of different things, and I'm glad you even mentioned the double aspects of this. You got comedy and then of course tragedy that comes along with the sport here. There's a lot of different things going on, so we're going to roll into it here in a few.
Absolutely. Well, today, we have some. You can see on screen here. We've got the Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane fight. Of course, that's coming up tomorrow, UFC 321, and we have as much information as the two of us can get based on our understanding of the sport and our connections that we have within it. But we do not have the inside track. However, we have a special guest today who has just that. She is a model. She is a mixed martial arts fan. She is connected to the champion of the world, Tom Aspinall, and she is here today to join us. The one, the only, Sarah Toby, coming in with us. How are you, Sarah?
I'm great. Thank you guys for having me.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
No, this is going to be good. Well, listen, I know we have a lot of Tom Aspinall talk, and obviously we got to get into it, but we got to cover a few things. We got to dip our toes in the water here. Sarah, you got to get acclimated to what this show is about first. So there's two things that we're going to cover before Tom Aspinall comes into play.
All right.
But the thing that we're going to talk about first is Big Tom's card getting ruined, of course. You can go ahead and switch it right now.
All right, let's do that.
Big Tom's card getting ruined by the best card of the night, or the best fight of the night getting ruined. Like, why is it getting pulled? I want you guys to realize that this fight right here was probably going to be a banger that we'll never get to see. Input. Let me know, guys.
Yeah, so this is Abdul Karim Al Sawadi and Mateus Camillo that was supposed to be going down. If on the show, on the podcast, we had said that this was about the most NPC fight that there could have been on this card. It was a little bit crazy that this even was here. So yeah, a major loss to be sure.
Yeah. Sarah, what you think? I mean, anything to say about this? I mean, do you even know these people? Let me know.
Yeah, it was health related, right?
Who even knows if that is actually tragic, but my bad. But either way, who cares? I honestly don't care that this fight was canceled, but I just wanted to let everybody know that one fight is down. And I even said that to Thinker before the show started, like, hey, I'm going to bring up, some stuff. And he was like, fight got canceled. What are you talking about? I'm like, exactly. It doesn't change anything. Nobody even knew. Nobody even
I
cared.
wouldn't be surprised if they just pulled this fight. Like if
It-
there was no real reason for it, and they just were like, you know what, this is not of the caliber of this event. Let's just get this thing out of here.
All right, actually,
Oh,
stop.
never
We
mind.
no, we got to take a moment, guys. The best comment of the night already, and we actually didn't even mention the chat. So everybody in the chat right now, TJF, John Dog, and anybody else watching, know that this is your moment to, give us a little insight on what we're missing out. If you got something to share that we missed throughout the week, obviously we may get to it, but just let us know now. And of course, we are thinking about you guys. So just,
Absolutely.
keep it up. Yeah.
Much appreciated, y'all.
Now, and so Sarah, it was awesome for you to join us, of course. And listen, we have a 3-team, commentary crew for tonight. So I wanted to let everybody know that, of course, we are getting Laura Sanko and we're getting DC and John Anik for the commentary crew. I mean, I don't know if this is a bummer or if this is a shocker. Let me know now if you are a big fan of not having Bisping on the commentary, because I've been liking him lately, is my opinion. But
I do like Bisbing, but Laura Sanko's dope. I like her.
yeah,
I
no,
like her a lot.
she's really complimentary to most of the people on the commentary cast. I think you get different duos that can honestly shine with her, but John Anik and DC, I feel like DC's gonna annoy me a lot during this card.
Well, DC
I
is
actually
not.
love
Oh,
DC.
Yeah,
oh gosh.
same here. First of all, second of all, DC does not come with the snippiness that Bisping has had lately. I know that we talked about it a little bit on the show, but yeah, Bisping getting into it with John Gooden there the other day. I mean, that was it made more waves than just the two of us.
Let me tell you why that is good. Is because he's the average guy. I'm watching this just as annoyed as he is. Why would the ref be doing that dumb shit? You know, anything like that. DC, you know he's not even watching the fights because he just be sitting there just talking out his ass for fucking so many rounds of these fights. Honestly, it'd be frustrating sometimes.
I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think the DC adds a level of he adds a different variation on the type of commentary that you get because he brings in unk stories to the commentary, and that's what you really are getting out of him that you don't get out of any of the other commentators.
Well, listen. What I will say you get from DC that you don't get out of other commentators is you will get personal messages. Now, if you guys didn't
Okay.
see this video, if you guys didn't see this video, I haven't seen the video yet. I read the caption and I thought it was pretty cringe, but we're gonna go ahead and watch this real quick.
Right.
This is quote unquote off camera. You know, DC off
Hot mic.
camera.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hot mic situation for
gosh,
DC here.
somebody didn't let him know. Where's the boom? The boom guy's still doing this, tracking him around is the crazy part. But either way,
Also, hey man, thanks for giving me props about the fight. Even though you're kind of polishing me up
fight?
a little
What's
bit.
that? What's
when
that?
you go, oh, DC would have been a problem if we fought. When
I told you that years ago.
Yeah, I know you did, but still, to say
No, honestly,
you're just kind of polishing me up, and I
I'm
like
not-
it.
it's not-
Every now and again, somebody got to give the big boy some love, you know. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Yeah,
It's the
you
truth.
know
I
that.
think you might have beat me up bad.
No, I would have. Hey,
is this the wrong clip? Did I like find the wrong clip here? But either way,
I think it's right now.
Guys, make sure you
No,
watch
it's not.
this week.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
no, it's not this one.
I mean,
found the
well,
wrong clip.
they
Either way,
you can find it, but you know, I just want to off the bat say, who let him wear those shoes? Good Lord, the neon highlighter shoes he's got going on. That's a look. That's a look and a
Yeah.
half, especially with the rest of the outfit. Does not match.
yeah,
That's
but
all I
either way, yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. Let me find this clip real quick. You guys talk about DC before I find the clip of him actually glazing him, because this is actually pretty bad. 1 second.
I mean, Sarah, I think that you could probably pull those shoes off though if you tried.
I wouldn't
Those
want
shoes?
Yeah, not my look either. I mean, I think that DC has never really been like the fashion guy, so I guess it's okay, but still not okay.
Let me tell you why this frustrates me, okay? Because I obviously when I went on Twitter to go look for this clip, I scrolled past the initial one from MMA Guru, right?
Ah.
That's the one I originally, but this is clearly the one that has the fucking moment. So we're gonna go ahead and shout out MMA Guru real quick because he has the hot mic moment that I
All right.
skipped past for apparently the wrong fucking clip. Sorry about that.
Roll it.
division, like what type of run you can go on.
Yeah, I know.
You go crazy. You can like change your life.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what is Almeida's fighting, sir? Chilton can't fight.
Who do you think's going to win?
Chilton, I don't know.
I think Bokov, probably.
But even Elmer, you beat him in the first
Yeah,
round. It's like, it can crazy.
Yeah.
Bro, you're on the verge of some crazy
I appreciate it. I'm going to keep doing my
working
thing.
hard though.
Thanks, bro.
You gotta keep working hard.
Thank you. I will do. Will do.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Listen, I'm working harder
it's
now than I ever was.
when things like that, like, doesn't come around often, right? It's like when I got to fight Vulcan. I had to defend the belt against Vulcan Ozdemir one time,
yeah.
man.
You couldn't believe your luck.
And I won the lottery, son. But they were like, hey, man, we think you get to fight Vulcan. I'm like, yes, I'll take it.
All right. Yeah, so clearly he's over here putting on a show for Mr. Aspinall, which I mean, he's probably not lying. He's probably not
I was
lying.
supposed to say, do you think he's wrong though?
No, definitely not. It's actually pretty crazy that he's saying exactly what I think needs to be told to Tom Aspinall, but I don't know, DC, like, come on, you're supposed to be a heavyweight champion here, you know.
It's a little bit much, is all I'll say, because it's not necessarily a wrong sentiment, but to say that Jalton Almeida cannot fight, like, that's a little bit above, beyond the pale, I would say. Good Lord, the guy's on the same card right now. I mean, he's going to be commentating on this fight coming up. You want to talk about DC with bias? We didn't talk about the biasness of the commentary when we were talking about the commentary team. Now, DC has had a little bit of a streak every once in a while, and I think that if I was Jalton Almeida, I would certainly have a little bit to say about that coming into my fight. and having this guy on commentary, you know?
Yeah, it's just pretty funny how the people below him, like, obviously he beat Volkov, like, but he's got to let him know, dude, you smoked that guy in one fucking round, like you did. It's like Volkov's probably watching this, like, damn, like I was trying to get past this. I was trying to make you guys forget that I got smoked by this guy in one round. I done just beat Surreal Gun and y'all robbed me, but I
I mean, he kind
digress.
of casts shade on the entire heavyweight division aside from Tom by saying this, you know, it's a little bit much, is I mean, because it's like that's the problem. It's like we do know that Tom is the man right now. That is what we were talking about, and it, you know, what I think most people believe. I mean, I certainly think that we do, but you know, it's like you don't say that necessarily. You don't say that in the sacrifice of the entire rest of the division, hot mic or not. You know, it's maybe
Right.
you know the level of the conversation.
Yeah, no, this one was definitely a very, very funny clip. I don't know what to tell you guys. Speaking, the biasy that he has. I mean, this dude literally coaches some of the people on the fucking roster. Talk
True.
about what's his name from the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, this dude. I don't know that when it comes to the Contender Series. I mean, this guy. He also just frustrates me. But either way, DC's not the worst. He's not the worst. Joe Rogan maybe might be the worst at this point. But either way, he hasn't been around in a really long time. Anybody else want to make a comment about this?
Rogan.
Yeah.
Well, he only does the events in the United States. Now, some of the ones that he may have not have done in the United States, that's kind of interesting, I guess. But he's the $100 million man, bro. He's got comedy wars to take care of right now. You know, there's a whole civil war brewing in the comedy world on the opposite side of his life that he's got to attend to. MMA has to take a back seat right now. He's got to go defend Theo Vaughn and all what's going on over on that side of the world.
Yeah, 100%. I actually think TJF makes a great point here. Building the title shot with Almeida and Aspinall. It's pretty epic, right? They're telling him that he can't fight. But either way, um, you know, I think the last thing that we're gonna get into, with Tom Aspinall, before if Sarah has anything to mention, this is the last thing, and this is gonna be your moment right here. This is gonna be the time because Tom Aspinall's gonna be looking just as good as anybody ever will in these dazzling new shorts.
Oh,
Anybody else
brother.
see this? Yes.
I actually don't mind the shorts. I
Not
know
it.
they've received a lot of hate, but I actually don't mind the shorts.
I also did see the hate. I don't know why a lot of people hate on just straight lines and colors that we all know are, very acclimated. Like they go well together, red, white, and blue. And
Looks nice.
it's, yeah, it's not too funky. I think the Ferris wheel thing is pretty cool. I don't know what the mosquito or whatever in the bottom, the bee or
That's
whatever that is.
the Manchester bee. I don't know. I don't know why Manchester has a bee, but that's from what I understand. That's what that is.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't hate them. They're not the worst. Probably could have been better, but it is what it is. He's a pretty bland guy. Big Tom. He's
He is
whatever.
a very simple man. He is very simple, very I don't know, not over the top, not flashy.
Right, right. Obviously, he's here to do a job. He's a man in the office when it comes to this fight game. So, Sarah, I was just wanting to know your input. Like, is this guy as locked in as you've seen him in previous? I mean, obviously, he hasn't fought in a year. I mean,
Yeah,
we
and
don't
that's
know
the
how
big
long he's
deal,
been
right?
associating,
We
but
want to know from, you are the one that has the direct line of communication more so than either of us. So obviously we got to know what's the mind state, what's the atmosphere surrounding it. Well, this guy's been out for so long, like Chase mentioned there. Plus, it's the like is the training up to par? Is like everything, are all of the pieces still locked in as they would have been for John Jones now coming in against Cyril Gahn?
I believe if not as locked in, maybe even a little more. He's had so much time to train and get better between, his fights and leading up to this. So I was able to ask him not too long ago how prepared he was feeling at that moment for the fight. And he said he was as prepared as ever. So I guess we'll see with his performance tomorrow how prepared he was.
It just honestly makes me question how locked in you are. If every single day I get on social media and find a new clip of you hanging out with some social media star. I mean, this dude was with Eddie Hall just another couple weeks ago, I'm sure. Nina Drama is getting her clips off with Big Tom. Where's the neon stream when you need it, is all that I'm saying. This dude could make millions if he really wanted to, but it is what it is.
He does do a lot of media, but his media person, so his name is Charlie, he goes with him everywhere. So they try to make content in between like training sessions all the time. He is literally go, go, go 100% of the time. I will say he does like to sleep. So in his off time, he does sleep. But that's about it. I mean, he is on go mode 100% of the time.
You're saying Big Tom's a sleeper. Okay, well, so you're saying this man's not a partier, huh? He's not out here doing the John Jones deal. He's not out here doing, cocaine on the weekends and UFC belts on the weekdays or whatever the system is. I don't know how he does it. He obviously makes magical things happen.
No, not at all. He is very chill, very laid back. I've even tried to ask him like what kind of music he listens to and stuff like that, and he's just like, meh, like
Hmm.
whatever. Just like really simple stuff.
Eat, sleep, fight. I like it.
Yes,
One
that's
one
it.
Yeah, well, one piece of information that I don't think that we have for the show, but just broke, I believe, today or late yesterday, was that his father has been saying that he doesn't want Tom to renew his UFC contract after it is up. He wants him to explore other options, including boxing, because, of course, there are very large paydays in boxing. Is that something that you think might be in the cards for Big Tom?
I don't know. Tom loves what he does. He's
Hmm.
very passionate about MMA in general. I don't think he would go to like just boxing.
Hmm.
I just don't foresee that for him. But you never know.
Yeah,
There's a bigger pay there. There's more, I guess, opportunity. So I don't know. There's no telling. But I hope he stays with the UFC. He's come a long way, and he deserves to be where he is. And yeah.
yeah, 100%. No, Big Tom's a BJJ guy. I think he's a big grappler. I don't think he wants to go boxing. I mean, he's a big believer in his father, and his father does know right most of the time. He's led him this far. So will he continue to follow what his father wants him to do? I mean, it's only time will tell. If he becomes a boxer, I mean, we will know the answer is that Big Tom is just daddy's boy. And listen, I'm not somebody who's saying that's not there's anything wrong with that. I myself, I'm a big fan of my father. Big Tom, hey, your father seems like he's doing really good things out there, but he maybe could have gave you some input on the shorts is the last thing that I'll get back to.
Well, and just my last thought on the boxing thing is, I do think that, it's interesting how much his father may or may not have an influence over the pathway that his career takes. But, this is also a guy that had to sit in the prime of his life waiting for John Jones to decide what he wanted to do or not do. I mean, all of that time wasted on the sidelines based on the whim of this other guy. So I say that to say, I mean, there might be a little bit of a thought in the back of his mind that, like, if the UFC is not going to consider what he wants as much when they're, putting all of their eggs in the John Jones basket for as long as they did, then, maybe he doesn't feel like they care as much about him as he might about the sport, so to speak.
Yeah, I definitely, Big Tom and whatever his aspirations are in MMA, I'm really hoping that they are far exceeding what we see right now because, like DC was glazingly saying, this dude could be the greatest that we've ever seen. I mean, think about what John Jones was able to do. I mean, my dad was watching the press conference with me and he was like, that's surreal gone, dude, because he's in his fucking Muslim garb, he's all out in the UAE, he's doing his thing. My dad was like, that's surreal gone guy looks locked in. And I'm like, okay buddy, click, let me show you 3 minutes from 2 years ago. John Jones off the couch, probably still on cocaine, walks in here, doesn't even, it's funny because it wasn't even a crazy performance. Like, you can't even say he just like dismantled him, he just dominated him. Like, no, he literally walked in there, did a couple moves with his big old belly jiggling around, and then got a choke, and it was a good choke. I mean, John Jones is really good at wrestling, but like, bro, Surreal Gone is just, I mean, he's gonna have to really be so crazy. He just lost to Volkov. Like, I can't tell you how this doesn't even make sense. Like, once you start breaking it down, there's just no way that I see Big Tom losing. And I genuinely haven't been the biggest person on talking publicly about Tom Aspinall. Like, I wanted to see the John Jones fight because that should have happened, but Tom Aspinall really is. When you look at the highlight reel, I mean, it's like 9 minutes and there's like 15 fights. Like, it's crazy to me. This dude is just awesome. Not gonna lie, I do like him. He's cool.
His average fight time is 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
Yeah, yeah, and it's only that long because he went to the second round with one dude that he was just kind of fucking around with. So it's pretty crazy. So
And Sarah, what when Tom gets these like highlight worthy wins, like does he have like a post fight ritual that you know of? Is there any kind of celebration, or is he just right back to being even keel, low key?
He has said that he is not a celebratory person. He doesn't. I mean, when I say Tom is a simple man, I mean he is a very simple man.
mhm.
He doesn't like the nicknames. He doesn't like the after fight celebrations or anything like that. He's just a very chill, easygoing kind of guy.
Facts. Yeah, no, I definitely see that. And I think that's why, honestly, Tom Aspinall, many people may not love him yet, but they will respect what he's done in the game, and I think that's what's really important here is that Tom Aspinall is building the resume of somebody that's an all-time great.
Well, and that's another reason, going back to what I was saying earlier about the whole John Jones situation. It's another reason why I think that like he and his team would not be out of line and feeling disrespected by the way that the organization handled that situation. Like, this is a guy who was on this monumental rise, had to defend an interim title. I mean, like this is, he was losing stock by their doing. I mean, like he could have already been the person that you're describing here, the guy that has already had his big coming out party and was a massively bigger star than he already was becoming. It's like he could have been all of those things and more if that situation did not play out the way that it did. So it's like, in a way, you're not only denying him the belt, but you're also denying him the star power that hopefully he's going to achieve, but was not able to while he was sidelined.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just crazy that Tom Aspinall has every heavyweight that you would say is formidable now, he had already beat them when he was coming up, and they were still kind of the same that they are now. Like when you watch the run that he was on, I mean, Spivak, Tybura, Volkov, like these are still of the better ones that we have right now, and they haven't changed the way that they fought. Like they're still the same, in a way. Volkov's less of them, but the two of Tybura and Spivak, they're kind of bumbling fools at the end of the day, but like they continue to make things happen and they win. Volkov is, again, unfortunately out of this era. That's why I think Jailton is going to have a better time with him, is because Volkov is he's just too sluggish and too slow when it comes to what Tom Aspinall is able to gain. And it's just levels to it when it comes to the heavyweight division. Tom Aspinall is just genuinely a specimen at the end of the day. So I'm glad that we can all have this agreement that Tom Aspinall is going to go ahead and win this fight against Cyril Gane. Now, if anybody has anything last to say about Tom Aspinall, we're going to wrap it up. It may come back, but anyways, speaking of the GOATs of their division, I want you guys to understand that we potentially have another one on our hands because we have a PFL release from Larissa Pacheco, and she has a win over the current bantamweight champion of the UFC. What does anybody think about this? Is Kayla Harrison, does she have a target on her back?
This was an interesting one to me. I saw this. I mean, I had seen the rivalry between Harrison and Pacheco in the PFL. It was actually one of the better like storylines that they had in the organization. The organization in general, hemorrhaging talent. This is another big name that was left that they have now lost, released, it seems. Will they end up bringing her over to the UFC is interesting as a question because she did, it says in this tweet, and it is the truth, she went 0-2 in the UFC before going to PFL. So this could be another instance of a fighter who was not necessarily UFC caliber, but did much better in an alternate organization. Does the experience level translate to her coming back now? I don't necessarily think that she's going to be a major threat to Harrison initially, but if she comes in here and earns her stripes, then it could be interesting based on what the history they already have.
The first thing that I'll say is when will they learn if the UFC signs them? If the UFC signs her, it's like when will they learn signing these PFL bums? But I actually think with the women specifically to the with Pacheco here, it's probably a good signing to get her back because then you can build up somebody that actually if she somehow beats Amanda Nunes, because obviously that's what's coming. That is what's coming, everybody. She's coming out of retirement. Kayla Harrison's going to fight her. If Pacheco is around after that, they can build up some sort of rematch there. I think that is obvious. But again, I will say, when will they learn? Please, I don't think we should go this route. I think just call it because what's next? We signing Liz Carmouche? Like she's 42, guys. Like
Well, and I mean, and if they do want to try to set up a rivalry there, they're going to have to hotshot the hell out of Pacheco. She's going to have to be running through a division very, very quickly to get her up to the status. I mean, what, you think they're just going to jump her right in?
there's like 9 bantamweight women, dude. Like
This is a good point. Yeah, that
yeah,
is true.
yeah. So
Well, I mean, it's still, I think that what I would say is if they have learned any lesson, then they're going to know that you can't just immediately jump her to a title shot. We've seen so many times now where that has not turned out, in any stretch of the imagination to be a good thing. We've had, I always want to say Ray Saruya, but it's buddy from Ryzen.
Kai Asakura.
Kai Asakura, thank you. Yes, we had Kai Asakura come in with a ridiculous record, ridiculous number of knockouts. Actually, Kai Asakura, I know Sarah had done some research on him. So she is pretty familiar with all of his accolades. Came in and we've seen what he's been doing. So it's like, she doesn't even have all of that. She just has the wins in the tournament. So that's good. But what level was she fighting over there and what can she do here? I think they got to bring her in at like a middling talent at best.
I mean, I think this is a great question for Sarah. What do you think of the women's bantamweight division? I mean, genuinely, this girl could walk in here and be the third best that we have. But is that what the UFC needs to put their stock into? Because would that make them a lot of money if Pacheco and Kayla Harrison or Pacheco and Amanda Nunes? She beat Kayla Harrison. If Amanda doesn't beat Kayla or Kayla beats her, you can build a fight off this either way.
I think it could be interesting, honestly.
Mhm.
I think bringing in a little outside, like, because let's be real, in women's MMA, there's a lot of cattiness.
Mm-hmm.
And so bringing in, like, somebody on the outside, on the inside, there's going to be some cattiness. There's
Mm-hmm.
going to be, like, a good story to go there. You know what I mean? And they'll sell that story.
Yeah, I do actually find that you're correct there. Women tend not to forget. These women have history, and they're going to keep it. The blood's going to keep boiling. And this is another great point when it comes to entertainment. Women do know that. And not that they know it, but they are better at showing that they understand how to sell entertainment. They understand that they could, you know, not necessarily in this sport do we see people getting on the mic and doing the entertainment aspect because they don't get the fucking questions on the press conference. Like nobody's asking, Larissa Pacheco, whatever you want to say, questions. In the moment, on Contender Series, you see that they understand that entertainment is the point of the game here. And I think Larissa, not necessarily going to come in here and be a wow factor on the mic, but entertainment, she might be able to put some of the bantamweight women that we have down. I mean, Chelsea Chandler just got cut only a year ago. She probably would get finished by her on days' notice. So that's just all that I'm saying.
And what I will say too is that the fight that she did win with Kayla Harrison in the PFL finals was a pretty solid fight. I mean, this was definitely a competitive fight. This was not a knockdown drag out. It was a two-way action kind of fight. It was a dog fight. So there is something to be said for it being, having the potential to regain that and build off of that. If they are allowing them to use clips for highlights, then she comes in with a good package where you can show that she had some upper hands on the champ. You're able to sell off of that in addition to whatever she's bringing to the table on the mic and that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, and if this is what they do, it is what it is. Like this comment right here says, sure, why the hell not? Need new faces right at the bottom there. I mean, sure. I mean, like I said, bantamweight, there's 7 that you can name and 9 that actually exist. So, sure, we'll take her. I'm down for it. But speaking of the PFL, Speaking of PFL, I don't know if anybody had noticed. I had spoken on the Monday show, which we do every Monday, where we talk about the fights and previous fights. Either way, I had talked about how these retroactive drug tests keep popping up, where magically people failed drug tests from a year plus ago. So I would love for people to have some insight on this one.
This one was very interesting to me because yeah, this is a patchy mix, and this goes back to his fight with Magomedov. This was from a card in Paris in May of 2024, and the interesting thing here was that it was two commissions that were involved. So the commission that oversaw the drug test, I believe, was the United States Commission. That was the pre-fight, and then the post-fight was the French MMA federation. So you've got rival commissions kind of like going at it as to like who was right about the testing and whether it was like the win could be upheld or overturned. And this is all stemming from a marijuana pop, by the way. So off rip, this is dumb. I mean, this is kind of like a dumb thing to even be going over, but for whatever reason, it is part of their protocols, I guess. And I believe that what ended up happening here is that the win was finally upheld, but it's still kind of being contested by the French side of things, if I'm not mistaken. Is that the gist of it?
I think something at the bottom here, something this is not the first reverse to a loss that we've received. So, I mean, I guess it does. I mean, I guess they're saying it was reverse to a loss, I guess.
Or that it's only being upheld as a win in the United States, which is even crazier if that's the case.
I don't know necessarily all the X's and O's about this. The only thing that I know is that this dude is a dirty junk addict. Like, you are a professional athlete, my man. You are out here supposed to be representing the sport. When you go internationally, you're supposed to be representing yourself. And you come to the UFC and you think you're just going to smoke marijuana? Oh, brother.
The devil's lettuce, this guy.
You're not Kevin Holland, you're not Nate Diaz. You don't get to smoke weed, buddy. You just know. You go to the back and you go have fun while you're sober. I mean, I'm sorry to tell it to you, but like, that's just the way it is. And I think, Sarah, I'm gonna get your insight on this because I think this is the perfect moment to bring you into it. What do you think about standing up for your mans in this situation? Do you think that this is the perfect situation for Tatiana to comment?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, you guys said it was for a marijuana, like, you know, honestly, I think it's stupid. So yeah, I would stand up for, my mans or whatever.
Right. I think what's key.
Stupid.
Yes, but would you go to the levels of saying that the testing was wrong? Where does it say it? It says the test was wrong. The lab messed up. That's what I love about
Probably
this.
not.
Yeah, I
No.
think that is my key about it. Is she completely tried to say the lab, just the testing's wrong. You just don't know how to test drugs. You completely failed and flopped on your end as a drug tester, and the testee was at fault. But I think it's just crazy to me that one, this happened, and the comment needed to be made, but two, that she also made a comment because it doesn't, in my mind, make you look guilty. It's just like, if you know it's not like the truth, you don't need to make a comment about it. Like, you in your mind, like, I know what the truth is. Like, who cares if people talk? I don't give a shit if they think that I fucking popped for steroids. It was marijuana, whatever you want to do. If Paris hates me, I don't care. In America, they're going to count it as a win. In France, they may count it as a draw. I don't know. I don't care. Why would I talk about the $20K in lawyer fees? Like, bro, you must have a shit fucking lawyer if you guys lost. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Nah, she's trying to air it out in a way that makes him look better because that's her husband, bro.
She's trying to defend her mans.
Yeah.
Listen, maybe I've just never experienced this level of commitment. I would be like, stand down, like, just it's all right, just don't worry about it. Like, it's gonna pass over. Obviously, we both believe it's bullshit, but like, there's no reason for us to come out here. And Patchy obviously made a tweet as well, but his was just like, it was weed, like, blah 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 blah. And like, okay, that's
and I guess that's also kind of a good point, is that like, this is from a win loss, whatever it ends up being, that was back in Bellator. So it's like, he's not even in the organization. The organization doesn't even exist anymore. I mean, like, you know.
To be fair, that's a great point. It's like who was even doing the testing after in 20, like by this time it's like who even cares? But the problem stems initially what I was talking about is like why are we getting retroactive drug tests? Last week we talked about Irina Alexieva, how she got popped for a drug test and she was still fighting, and then they told her after, no, you failed that drug test. You're fucked. And
Well, I
it's
don't think
like,
it's retroactive though. I think it's just that this has been in contention since 2024 is the issue.
but I don't know, man. It's just still all wonky to me that these things take so long to figure out. It's like, yo, when I take a COVID test, the lines pop up. Like when I go get a job and take a swab for the drug test, it literally shows right
There.
then and there. So I'm very confused on if they genuinely have to have a man watch this dude whip something out and piss in a cup. How are we taking so long to 2024 of May is nuts, bro. GTA has been in development longer than that, and we're getting close to it being that long ago. But either way,
Well,
just
I
nuts.
I think that Tatiana Suarez is all right by doing this. I think because I think you say your piece after it's all come out. You say your piece one time. Now you're on record supporting your husband, and whatever the world is going to think, they were going to think one way or another anyway. So at least she comes out and has a strong stance on it, and then they can move on from this with Patchy's side of the argument as well, being that this is all ridiculous to begin with. The drug is not illegal anymore. It's not something that is a banned substance the same way it once was. Like, I think that again, you put out one statement, put a rest to it, and she got a little dig at France in there too, and I always appreciate that.
What I often enjoy when it comes to moments like this, instead of making a comment back, I often love sending a video that just proves how idiotic what is going on is. They should have went back to the Paris Olympics where France was showcasing Snoop Dogg on every fucking event. You're gonna tell me right here, right now, y'all were upholding the fucking no marijuana clause against this guy. Okay, I'm not one to throw people under the bus, but like Patchy Mix, just get your game up. You got to bring up different elements. Like if your lawyer was 20K deep and he didn't think that one video of Snoop Dogg fucking watching beach volleyball wasn't it, I'm just saying, could have hired me a lot less, a lot cheaper, and we could have got the same result. But I could have at least made it interesting in the courtroom.
That's the big takeaway is that whenever you're in a situation like this, Chase Parton Esquire is who you need to be, as having as your legal team.
19,000 less, you're in the same position and you have $19,000. Think about that. I'm just saying. But who doesn't end up thinking about what they do? I can tell you right now is this man right here. But we're going to get into a video real quick. So everybody, we're just going to enjoy a little clip. This is where we get into the darker side of MMA. So please, everybody, just see what's going on here.
Want to hear a black joke? Okay. That is the name. God's people. All right, black joke. I call this the Kirk shot. You know why? Because it's black. There's something there. There's this. Just figure it out. There's a joke in there somewhere. You can do it. Figure it out.
Okay. My initial thoughts, if I'm going to watch this, and what I would say is I think he's trying to do a thing where he means dark humor, but he's saying black instead of dark. And that's just my opinion there.
Nope. Sarah, what do you think about this? Because I'm a jump in on this one too.
I was really hoping it'd be something like humorous, but it wasn't.
That's the big problem. Yes, correct.
I was really hoping because so I have dark humor. I love the kind of like dark humor or whatever. So I was
black humor, by the way.
Oh, sorry, black humor.
Yes,
sorry. I was really kind of hoping that there was going to be like a good little punchline. There was nothing.
No.
Right. So I think that's the big issue here is that, like, first of all, there's no actual joke in it. You're taking a subject that a lot of people have like divisive thoughts on and a lot of strong opinions about, and you're trying to make a joke out of it. Like, I respect the attempt at humor about the subject if you actually have something to say, which Izzy did not. And then the other thing is, it's like you record this video with no clear intention for humor, even though it was intended, but no actual follow through rather. And then like, you didn't have to post this, bro. Like, you could have watched it back and been like, man, yeah, I really did not stick the landing on this. And there, you could have been just fine leaving it be.
Here's the key. You say he could have not posted this, brother. He had to have shot this a couple different times. Like he was already 4 shots deep after this. So like he knew he was posting it one way or another. It was just how bad it was gonna get by the time he did. And I don't know. It's a weird video because like I often I'm not a big politics person. So one, going out of your way to comment in a way like this, it's just like you probably could have just turned on your favorite TV show for another hour or two instead of making this video. There's plenty of feel good, heartwarming moments in those. Instead, you indulge yourself with these weird moments. Like, I don't know. Izzy has always been an interesting character. Like, as you can see right here, I love this comment too because it's just like they just brought up this. But first, he told Yoel Romero he's going to fall like the Twin Towers. Now, someone come get Izzy, bruh.
That's the problem. Look, like Israel Adesanya is a legend of this sport, and I constantly am having to like qualify things when it comes to him. I have to always say, him in the cage, completely different story. Outside of the cage, I think that he thinks he's smarter than he is. And that I think is a bit of an issue, is that like, because something like this, like what he said, there's something in there. In his mind, there was. It's like, I obviously, as a black person, I have opinions about this person, Charlie Kirk, and what he said about black people. So I'm going to try to formulate something, but it just never came. And it's like, bro, when you're touching on something as charged as that, with racial overtones and all that kind of stuff, there has to actually be a point. Like you can't just you can't just throw something like that out there and just let it sit without and like just you figure it out. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah, but what's funny is like in a way, he would watch this and be like, yeah, they just don't get it, man. The Joker smoking a cigarette at the end, like they just don't get it, man. Like they just don't get that I just dropped a fucking bar. Like Charlie Kirk's death, I take a shot to that, and there's humor there. I don't know. Crazy to me that this is, well, it's not crazy that these are the people that are the greats of this sport. I mean, plenty of people have their own conspiracies. They're just in a sport that's highlighted a lot more, so they can't actually voice their own opinions. Thankfully, we're actually in a sport where Dana don't give a shit what people think or say. So that's kind of cool. But at the end of the day, we get people like this and Bryce Mitchell and,
I love it. Yeah, no, I think that's one of the best parts about MMA is that you have as much rope as you need to let yourself out to dry. And that's exactly what happened to Izzy in this situation. And constantly what you were saying with the Yoel Romero and his terrible Elsa on skates line and the Chinese stuff. I mean, like, again, with Israel Adesanya specifically, he like when he gets backed into a corner, he tries to go into like this sort of tough guy like persona and like let that carry him out of it. But there's no actual points that he's making. He's kind of just like, I'm tougher, I'm smarter, I'm this guy, like I'm better than this or whatever. But like you got to actually have something to back those things up when you're not in a combat situation.
Yeah, 100%. I think Izzy. I really don't know. I mean, there's genuinely more to come. I mean, there's going to be more of this. Anything that ever speaks to him and speaks to whatever creative mind that he has to comedy, he's going to get on social media and be first to make a joke that's not actually there, but wants you to figure it out while you watch a video of him drink alcohol or something. I don't know.
And I'm glad you brought up the alcohol. That was my last real major point about this. Perhaps the guy who not too long ago just got hit with a DUI maybe should be taking it a little bit easier on the drink. Just saying. I mean, I'm not he's not driving currently in this video, but he is shirtless. So it's like, maybe he's it's like one step closer. I mean, I don't know. I'm just like, bro, reel it back is all I'm saying. You're getting a little bit too far down the line with this. You obviously have some charged thoughts about something doesn't even really affect him. Like, what New Zealand really feeling a lot of the implications of Charlie Kirk's speech. I don't know. But either way, I'm just saying that maybe you draw it back just a little bit, and you don't take so many shots, Kirk or otherwise.
Yeah, 100%. This was not the best look. I mean, maybe to a certain community, people are really raving for Izzy, but I personally never been the biggest fan. This one didn't make me more of a fan, and it's not like, again, I'm like, oh my god, man, Charlie Kirk. No way he'd say that about that man. That's an American hero right there. Like,
What my
go ahead.
response will be is that I'm going to take a shot out of a shot glass that has a dog on it, and I'm going to say this is the Izzy shot. You figure it out.
I think we would all collectively understand. Yeah.
Oh, there's a more of a joke there. I don't know, or maybe not. Who knows? I'm in the same boat with you, Izzy.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, listen, that's a pretty good one. I'm trying to think of the segue. There've been plenty of good ones, but we're gonna have to give a good segue. Because listen, Izzy and his jokes, they're just too good for us. We can't sit here and laugh about them all night, guys. I'm sorry. I know we
Must be.
want to, but we have to move on. I want to get this one out the way because I know this show is supposed to be very fun and light, and Izzy and his jokes, they've just got us at the top of our mood. But we got to bring it down just one last time before we go. Unfortunately, we have to talk about John Jones and his brother's passing. He finally has come out and made a comment about it. He quickly wraps up, that Arthur was not a Super Bowl champ, but a father, spouse, son, brother, and a lot of people's best friend, gentle giant, other things like this. I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and read the whole thing, but I just want you guys to know that John Jones has finally spoken up, and it's unfortunate that this is another relative that has passed. Correct? It was. Am I wrong about that?
Another in addition to
This one, this was not the first. This was another relative that had passed in the most recent history. Am I not wrong about that?
for John, I think that this is the more recent one. I don't think that there wasn't one that I'm recalling off
I
the top of my head.
feel like that's what it is. But either way, unfortunately, John Jones is one of these people that has a life that is surrounded by people who are larger than life. He's related to NFL players. He's related to other people in other aspects. I don't know what else they do, but they're Olympic wrestlers is what he came from. He grew up um, in systems that are people that end up doing great things. I don't know how to explain it, but like when you live great lives and you have ups and downs and people are highlighted and spotlighted when things happen to them, it's probably really hard for someone like John Jones because he's always in the spotlight and then now it has to be about something else. He can deflect a lot about himself, but when it's about somebody that you're related to or that you personally love, it's a little harder to just shelter up, I would feel. So this was definitely one of the harder things I would say for John Jones to do is to open up and have like a moment, with the social media world about this. It having the words to say when someone passes, honestly, never fucking easy. And John Jones never one that I would say is emotionally equipped to just like be there for people or be there for himself. He's always been looking for other things to fill the void. So I was I would say this is worrisome in the situation, but John Jones, I mean, he's going to always do what the hell John Jones wants. So it is what it is. Sad to say that a relative passes to him, like a brother, of course, somebody that he grew up with and that genuinely taught him a lot of things that he probably utilized in this sport, as a football player. There's a lot of as you see in this clip right here, roughhousing. I mean, this may not make you the greatest fucking wrestler in the cage, but it's things like this that build your instincts for wrestling. So whether John Jones, was in my eyes, the greatest person of all time, you can at least respect that he had a loving member to him and they had a relationship and it's unfortunately not here anymore. So if anybody has anything else to say by this point, I can stop rambling.
Yeah, sure. Sarah, what do you think about the passing of Arthur Jones and John's acknowledgement here?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of wondering how that might affect him later on. Do you know what I mean? Whenever he does, have a fight coming up and stuff like that, is he going to be super emotional still, or is he, the type that's just going to be like, yeah, well, it happened. Let's move on. You know what?
Mhm.
Yeah, hard to say with John, I would think. Something tells me that John is kind of wrapped up in his own world most of the time, and something like this may be a little jarring to him because he is so inwardly focused. So yeah, there's probably an element of that, but I would think that he can probably turn it off and get himself back into locked in mode pretty easily. John Jones gets into the flow state really easily in his fights, and I think an extension of that is being able to do that and get yourself to that place outside of the cage as well. But in the broader sense, I think my major thought when it comes to this, he did take a little while to put this statement out and actually acknowledge it. I think that the unfortunate element here is that John is a very complicated person himself. Something like this should be very cut and dry. Obviously, I think that you should have a pretty standard down the line sympathy for something like this. But John, being the person that he is, and the complications that come with that, it muddies the waters a little bit, I would say, for the perception from some people, because there would still be some people. I remember I talked to Vitz King on one of the watch alongs about this when it had just happened, and his response, and to paraphrase him, basically was, yeah, that's sad, and I'm sad for the family, but still fuck John Jones. And it's like, I can understand that. I mean, I is it right? I don't think that I would necessarily say it exactly that way. I think that there's a more polite way to approach it, but I think I can understand people saying, yeah, I feel bad for the fact that this person is gone. I feel bad for the family. John Jones is still not a good person. And that's just where you have to end it. So I'm saying all of that just to say that, like, John creates a negative atmosphere around him by the type of person that he is. And because of that, these types of things maybe don't get the sympathy that they might from like, if this had happened to someone like a Max Holloway, this would be everybody would be outpouring sympathy. There'd be no other, side of the equation. But with John, it's more complicated. So the response is more complicated as well.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah, if John didn't have such a colored past when it comes to, when you talk about people and what they would feel about this situation, is like, you could always say, like, how would these people who John Jones obviously did criminal acts to, how would they feel about this? But, you can't really ask those questions. Everybody who is able to understand that empathy is an emotion, go ahead and have it for John Jones in this moment, and then go back later to understanding that John Jones is a piece of shit. Just have this moment to give it to John Jones and his family. I'll say that.
Right. And I think that just to circle back, that's also basically the same idea with Izzy and his joke as well. It's like, look, man, I mean, there's a lot of political elements to the person that you're satirizing there, and there's a lot of multifaceted things with it, of course, especially with the background that you have and the community that you represent. Perhaps you compartmentalize those things and you look at them separately, I guess is what I would say. And similar situation here.
Yeah, I think that is definitely what you can do. Other people would say what you should do, and this is not my word personally. This is just coming from the almost president of Ireland. We could go ahead and get saved. Everybody, if you didn't know.
I am not here just by chance. There is a higher power, God,
Yes.
that dictates my journey and all of our journeys. And I live my life by God's word. And since around that time that you mentioned at the last event, I've engaged on a spiritual journey. And I'm saved, I am healed. And on the back of that, the world is in for a treat. The world is in for a treat. My competitive spark that was once in my heart is now a roaring blaze. So I'm very excited. I envy these men up here on this dais. They're right about to make weight, and they're to go in and enjoy and entertain and do what they were called to do. As am I called to do it. And I'm eager to get back. And right now I had to dial myself in and go inward. And that I done. And I'm very, very excited to come back my own self.
Oh, right. So if anybody missed out, Connor is literally coming back to fighting. If you didn't know, the blade is in his competitive drive now, is what he just said, or some shit like that. I don't know, but this dude, he's clearly on another one, and I'm loving the Christian or Catholic, whatever this is, Conor McGregor. I love it.
Okay, Sarah, what do you think about the saved Connor here?
I think it's bullshit.
No.
How much do you want to bet he's still going to be the same crazy ass Connor he has always been?
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to claim that, like, I'm saved.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
So
that's what I love about it.
he does that stuff because he's saved.
Yeah, well, it's right. It's like now you have the same basic Connor, but then you also have now a layer of Christian craziness on top of it. That's fantastic. We needed more of that.
I think Yama did the greatest thing ever, is because you instantly heard, as soon as he said that, like, I've been saved, you heard the fucking, yes, like, fuck yeah, happy for you. I'm so proud. Like, you are such a good guy for getting saved. It's like, who's out there doing that? Like, who thought it was your cue to cheer at that moment? It's like,
The same people who are prayer warriors for John Jones, the same people who are sitting there, again, it's like the religion card is just like the easiest play for almost anything when it comes to like this type of situation. Like all you have to do is play that card, and there's a built-in audience that just because you played that card will automatically just be like, oh great, all is forgiven, the past doesn't matter now, you're now on my team, so I support you no matter what.
I am saved, I am healed, which means he needed God to absolve him of all his cheating, cocaine use, and whatever debauchery, so he has on his side when he fights, because God loved knockouts and God willing to help out. That's a great comment right there. Love to hear it. Yeah, no, Connor he is an eccentric being. I mean, he's going to be whatever it is that gets you talking about him. I mean, he's going to be religious Connor now. I mean, he was just skinhead Connor just a couple months ago. He was at the biker rallies just a couple weeks ago, whatever the hell case may be. He was just President Connor. He was trying to be on his Donald Trump shit, So he's just going to be Conor McGregor, and you're never going to be able to unsee that he was once one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time. And now, unfortunately, we're going to be stuck, because this show is an ever-going thing now. Every Friday, if you didn't know, we are going to be covering these stupid moments that Conor McGregor has for the rest of our lives, because he's tied to the sport and he's never going to fight in it again. It's just going to be different character changes.
I think that you might be off base with that. What I think that this whole savior thing might be leading up to is so that he has even bigger of an adulation when he makes the walk on the lawn of the White House, my friend. I think that this is, Christian nation type deal, and he's coming in to make sure that not only is he getting praise for being who he once was, but also praise for being a saved man.
I honestly, I totally think you're cooking. As soon as you started saying it, I said, Jesus fucking Christ, you're so right. These fucking white people are going to eat that shit up over there.
Yup.
Sarah, anything for you to say about these Christian fucking minglers over there?
I feel like with Connor, he is always going to find some way to be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Some way. He is always going to find some way to make himself come back around, if you will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that that's what this is.
I definitely agree with you on that one. Connor is once again trying to turn a new leaf to get new. I mean, listen, people become adults every moment. They become sentient in their own bodies. They understand that they want to like different things than other people. And it just so happens to be that Conor McGregor is big enough and larger than life that people, a whole generation of people know his name, but may not necessarily know what he's accomplished in the sport, but they know what sport he was a part of, and they know that he is, again, larger than life. Conor McGregor is a name you know. Whatever he does, there's hype attached to it. There's clout that comes with it, and Conor knows that he can just do whatever the fuck he wants. And to be fair, again, I enjoy this. I don't mind this. I mean, I don't mind to see Connor do whatever the hell he wants to do, because we get funny things like this. I mean, like, we just got a couple weeks ago, he was running for president, and a couple weeks before that, he had just dropped a dick pic on Twitter. Like, so I don't know. Crazy to think that this is the this is what our sport is looking up to, and they're always trying to aspire to be. I don't know if any of you have anything left to say about Conor here, but I do know that Conor McGregor's clone. What? Go ahead, Thinker.
No, I was just gonna say that I just wonder how big of a bump you can do off of a communion wafer.
That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. But
anyway, yes, continue.
Yes, Conor McGregor's clone, of course, the person that looks up to him most, that has actually never sniffed any lines of cocaine that we know of yet. Mr. Ilia Topuria, I don't know if you were thinking that this fight was going to happen, but as of right now, Dana says he doesn't know what's next for Ilia.
26. I'm going to ask you about some other British fighters. We all love Paddy the Baddy. There's talk at home that we think that he's ready to challenge for the top prize, the title against Ilia. Is that something that you're exploring for the start of next year?
We're always exploring lots of different things.
There's a twinkle in your eye though when you said that.
No, listen, obviously it's a fun fight. People would like to see that. But I don't know. As of right now, no, we haven't made that fight. We're trying to figure out what's next for Topuria.
Why would they not? I don't understand this aversion.
I honestly, I don't know what it is either. I can give you one answer, but I actually would like to hear Sarah's answer first. If she has a reason why she thinks Ilia Topuria and Paddy the Baddy should not be booked, say it now before I give you the real reason.
I don't really have a reason. I feel like it should be a thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give it to you. Justin Gaethje wants to fight Ilia Topuria, and this dude's a fucking the human highlight reel. Are you guys ridiculous? This guy is going to get his title shot one way or another. He's going to kick the fucking doors of the establishment down with his fucking title belt in the other hand when he walks out. So I'm just letting you guys know. That's what's happening. Thinker,
Well, I mean, that has been what he has said he wanted, and he has been a good company man for the entire time that he has been with the organization. So I guess you've got to give it to him, perhaps. But everybody thinking that that's like the fight that's going to make waves. I mean, I think that the community is already pretty understanding that the fight is not what he thinks it's going to be. I think it's like Justin Gaethje just wants title shots. Like he's chasing something that I think is just out of his grasp. And it's an unfortunate thing that he keeps wanting to get right up to the cusp and never actually getting over the hump is what it looks like to me.
Yeah. I actually don't think that it's even close. Justin's probably never going to get that title shot against Ilia Topuria, is what I genuinely believe. It is a funny thought that Justin thinks he's going to get a title shot off of one win against Fiziev. That was a split decision that he, whatever you want to say.
Right.
But if not Paddy, is there even another option? I mean, you got to see if Hooker and Arman, pan out right, I guess. But Hooker winning, mate, you already know, and I'm saying to Dana, mate, you already know. I'm looking at his bald head right now. You already know Dan Hooker is going to be injured for the next fucking 2 years after a fight. Like, that's just always how it is. It's the same with Shavkat. It's like these dudes just apparently are always hurt. They injure themselves in some catastrophic way every fucking fight. So I don't know what the deal is with Dan Hooker. If his hand is even gonna be functional for this fight, we do not even know. But that's the only person that I see as even another option. I mean, did Jalen Turner come out of retirement to get an Ilia Topuria fight? I don't know. That's not what I'm thinking, but I could be wrong. So,
well, I mean, and also the idea that Arman can go and fight Dan Hooker, and then that's enough of retribution for how he conducted himself in the event where he pulled out against Islam. It's not enough for me. I mean, Dana said that he's going to have to work his way back in. Is that enough to you? I mean, that one fight?
If you want my opinion, I think it's actually so reasonable for Arman to get the shot now that Ilia is the champ. It's like, okay, you ducked out on Islam, and like, yeah, you probably would have got grappled and like choked out or something. Now you get to go against Ilia, and he's definitely going to murder you. So I think that's so fun of a matchup because Arman deserves to have his head knocked off his shoulders by Ilia. I think that's just what I feel. Like, no way did you dip out on Islam on days notice after if you knew your back was hurt or you threw it out doing yoga, whatever the case may be, mate, Ilia has a left hook that could just obliterate you in 2 seconds. And I think you're obviously still worthy of a title shot. but you haven't proven it yet. So beat Dan Hooker, and then it's time for Ilya to murder you in the cage. And I think that is just totally worth it to
Not
me.
my issue is not whether or not he's worthy of the shot. It's the fact that he pulled out in the first place on the. I mean, like he threw an entire event into chaos. I mean, an
Mhm.
entire card had to be switched around because of him. Like that, in an organization like the UFC, that loyalty is everything, and if you go against the organization, you're committing the most cardinal sin that there is. I would think that there has to be a greater amount of rebuilding of trust than one fight. I mean, I would have, if it would have been up to me, he would have been fighting an unranked guy.
Yeah. I don't know if I believe that. Sarah, you have anything to say about that? About Armin pulling out? Is that anything interesting to you?
Yeah, I don't know that I would go as far as saying that he would have to fight an unranked guy, but I feel like there needs to be more fights to, like you said, gain that trust back because, well, I mean, you fucked an entire card.
You
And
know,
I mean, that's really that's pretty unprofessional. Let's just be real. That's pretty unprofessional.
On a whim, too, claiming that it was his back because he was doing head spins with Nina Drama is complete bullshit, and we all know it. He just didn't feel up to the challenge that night.
Whether you are right or wrong, I think in this scenario with lightweight, when you have somebody who's as decorated of an athlete in the sport as of right now as Armin is, uh, you're probably going to have to just give him that title shot and just go ahead and give him a second chance. I mean, obviously, fool me once, fool me twice, but this one, no way does he not feel up to the task to take on the smaller kind of champion as of right now. I feel like this is perfect opportunity for Dana to fill his head like, you want that title shot. Ilya's right there. He's a smaller guy than Islam. And then Ilya obviously murders him. But I think I would just love to see maybe a little bit of Dana needs to reel the cast out there, get Armin to take this fight like this is your big opportunity, kid. But we know in hindsight, like he's about to get knocked so far into oblivion, and then his next fight, he's not going to be the same, and then he's going to drop out of the rankings, soon after.
Well, but then I got to circle back to why. I mean, we have a narrative built in with Patty also, though. I mean, like, so why is that not being considered? I don't like just because Patty's bigger. I mean, like, I don't
Yeah.
understand. What is that really all that it is? Because I mean, for Patty, like, there's a built-in rivalry. Both of them want it. They've both been calling for it at this point. Just let them have it. I mean, like the fans, I think most of them would say that that's a good fight. Like, I don't see the aversion to the Patty fight.
Sarah, go ahead. You have anything? Yeah.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
I would be interested in that.
No, I would too. Yeah, I definitely. I mean, back to the original topic of hey, yeah, Patty. I mean, when you go over the other people, why wouldn't it be Patty? We just had a discussion about Armin and fucking and Dan Hooker. Those are the only two. I mean, you can't even say Fazeev. This dude literally just got hurt again. We were supposed to watch him fight Charles. Charles already got his head knocked off. Justin's just sitting around on his ass. Dustin. Let him come out of retirement. Who cares? I mean, if he gets an Ilya shot, I mean, fuck it. Listen. It wouldn't surprise me. Is all that I'm saying. Um, I don't know. There's too many fights to make. There's too many fights to care about. And there's one that I want to show you guys that I think you should probably not care about as well. But we're going to go ahead and talk about it because Bilal Muhammad felt he had to make a comment on it. Kamaru Usman felt he had to make a comment about Bilal Muhammad after Bilal Muhammad apparently he said he slapped him in a podcast or something. Is that true?
So this is going back a while now. They had filmed a podcast when I guess Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo. I don't know if they're still doing that podcast together, but at one time they were doing a podcast together. The two of them co-hosting it, and Bilal Muhammad was the guest. And Bilal and Kamaru got into a physical altercation. The podcast has never been released, but because it's never been released, it's been this kind of mystique around this episode that has carried on for a number of years. And I guess Kamaru had some comments on it recently.
Yeah. So yeah, I love the comments here. I just think he's a dork. And what do you do with a dork is you ignore them. He's number one in the division. That's key to note here. You're talking about the number one guy in the division. Like, this is the former champ, of course. Like, this is 2 champs away from when you've had the belt, by the way. I just think that's funny to note. And I'm below him, but I'm looking at the title. Well, There's your issue. You're looking past. And it's funny to me that the thing that everybody falls into the same trap. They're overlooked by the champion. Leon's overlooked by Usman. He finally gets the opportunity. He says the entire time, he's looking over me. Kamaru Usman says, I don't even know who this guy is. He gets knocked out. Leon gets the belt. And then he overlooks Bilal, like, I don't know who this guy is. This guy's overlooking me. He doesn't know what I am. Bilal gets the belt. And now we're back to the same fucking thing. I know Bilal doesn't have the belt, but like Kamaru Usman is looking over the number one contender. Doesn't that just not make sense? Like, how do you would look through that? You have to face that number one contender to get the belt. Like, Kamaru Usman is so far galaxy brained that he understands the business is so rigged. The number one contender doesn't mean you're getting the fucking title shot. And that's, again, back to Armin and why he's not getting the title shot. It's like, Kamaru Usman understands that it doesn't matter where you are in the rankings. You're 100,000, people comment from you getting the title shot. Like, all they have to do is just care that little, and maybe you're going to get it. If people say Kamaru Usman should, go against such and such, Hamza rematch. I mean, people, he might fucking get it. Who knows? Whatever you want to say. He says he wants to go for the for the title, and then in another clip he said he wants to go. This was actually at the presser. They had Imavov on stage. They had Kamaru Usman, and then some other random. I can't remember who it was, but Kamaru said that he wants to get the welterweight title back and then go on to middleweight. No offense to Imavov is the funny part about it, but I don't know. Looking past Bilal, it's like, one, Bilal has a fight made that he's literally fighting this month or whatever, next month. So why you would make this comment other than the reason that you got slapped or something and needed to make a comment about it, I don't know. But again, looking past the number one contender, that's just showing how flawed we are in the sport right now. And I think that sucks.
Yeah, that's the nature of the game. This is not a merit-based sport. We've gone over that plenty of times in many different iterations, but it really it's two-pronged. It's about consistently winning and winning over the fan base and winning over the organization. I mean, you're constantly having to sway hearts and minds in addition to getting the wins. Leon Edwards went through this same exact situation when he was in Bilal's like the same status as Bilal, where it was like multiple wins, 10-fight win streak and no title shot. You didn't win the fans. So Kamaru, he's got a little bit more of a built-in storyline, having already been the champ, having been one of the most dominant champs in the sport as well. He has the ability to look past Bilal a little bit. Bilal does no favors to himself by never raising his stock with the fan base. The loss to JDM was, I think, a big stock drop. Not even that it was a major stock drop. It was like he had just gotten his stock somewhere by getting the belt, and now it just went back down to where it was before, which was kind of non-existent. So, I mean, looking past Bilal doesn't really surprise me all that much, in the sense that he can probably do that and not have to worry about him. But if the organization does pair them up, then that becomes a different story, and he'll have to adjust accordingly to that.
It's really funny to think about now that I've really put two and two together. Bilal Muhammad was the champ. He was on his way to get the title shot. Kamaru Usman has been sitting on his fucking ass for the past however many years. He was not worried about getting that title from Bilal. He was waiting for that title to get changed from Bilal, in my opinion. After we see this, I'm not saying Kamaru Usman is not one to stray away from competition against Bilal Muhammad, but like, now that you're again overlooking him as the number one in the division, for the past 2 years or whatever that you've been inactive, he had the belt and he was sitting on it waiting for Leon to fight him. You were nowhere to be found. You were nowhere trying to throw your hat in the mix. You were nowhere being a backup fighter. I don't know. That's just my opinion here. I think actually Bilal Muhammad is gaining some aura here. You have Kamaru Usman like kind of tetrified to fucking fight you, apparently.
Well, release the fucking podcast already has always been my thing. I mean, it's like, I've been hearing in different versions and iterations of what did or did not happen on this podcast. It's like, if you got slapped in the face, then just release it and let the world know what actually happened. And then at least you have something to come back from. Like, he's trying to keep this like, it's a Streisand effect that's going going on here. It's like the more that he keeps this thing hidden, the more that it continues to be part of the conversation, as far as I'm concerned. And he's doing it himself. He's referencing it himself here. So it's like, bro, either like let everybody know what actually happened or not. But like you have this weird mystique that's surrounding this incident between you two, and the way that you're navigating just throwing out like single stray shots every once in a while is not doing any favors to like either clearing it or not clearing it.
I think what's key to know is that Bilal Muhammad represents Chicago. His nickname is Bully B. And you think he didn't just bully Kamara Usman on his own podcast? I mean, Kamara Usman didn't release a podcast for a reason. I genuinely do think this is aura points for Bilal. I've never been the biggest fan. I did respect him a little more after, he beat Leon, and, JDM fight was close, and, he didn't flinch when Leon tried to make him, that was really good. But I genuinely think he kind of punked Kamara Usman. I mean, what can you do in this sport that makes you look really good? There's not one of the things that I would say can make you kind of look good is if you can't necessarily whoop him in the cage, but you punk him outside the cage. I mean, it kind of works to your effect, I think. I mean, Bilal Muhammad may not be threatening outside the cage, but if he's going around saying I slapped Kamara Usman and Kamara Usman's calling him a dork after, I mean, it sounds like you got slapped, Kamara Usman.
Oh, he probably did. I mean, I like, even so, that's my whole thing is it's like even if it did happen, you trying to hide it, but then you're consistently having to circle back around to it. Just let it out already. Like,
Mhm.
even if it doesn't make you look good, you're winning inside the cage. You're the one looking past him, and you're, at least the way that you're talking about it. So it's like, yeah, if he got the better of you in, that type of a situation, then you can build off of that in a different way. But like trying to hide it, I think does worse. I think it draws more attention to it than just letting it out and letting it be in the open.
Yeah, I can definitely see that part of it. Sarah, you got anything about this slap? You think a slap happened, or do you think Bilal is just he's just making things up? He's fibbing.
I hope like hell it happened. That's catty
Nice.
as fuck, and I like that.
There we go. Yeah, we definitely do like some drama. I mean, between people who are decision merchants like Bilal Muhammad, I mean, adding drama to your name honestly can give you a little stock. I mean, we maybe will forget that you're going to go see the judges scoring before the fight
But
starts
the,
if you make it interesting.
I also want to reiterate, though, this happened years ago now. This
Mhm.
happened like 2 years ago, I want to say. So it's like this was already in the can, this podcast, when he was champion. So I mean, like, it's for him to be able to continuously be aura farming from this incident that we still have not seen. Like, that's why I'm saying, from Kamaru's side of things, it's like, bro, just let it out and get it out of the way already, because he's consistently being able to take from something that is now years behind you.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Create
definitely
the new
agree.
narrative.
Yeah, new narratives are always good. New things are always good. New content is always good. I hope Kamara Usman has a new podcast on the way. Obviously, we hope to see that he's back and not afraid of Bilal Muhammad. Anything like that, we would hope to see that he's actually going to come out here and fight very soon, because he smoked Buckley, which is crazy to think. His brother, speaking of Kamara Usman, his brother just popped for PEDs. I'm waiting for the retroactive drug test on Kamara Usman, to be fair. I mean, this dude was off for so long. I mean, what was he doing in that time? Who knows? I have the same questions about John Jones at this point. Not to be that guy, but I do believe a retroactive drug test could be in the mix. I mean, there's a reason other than him being scared that he didn't fight again. And it's probably because he would have got fucking popped again. But I don't know. That's just my speculation. I obviously love to do my own speculation and conspiracies. But the one thing I
Wild
don't
speculation.
well, the one thing I won't have to make a wild speculation about is if Shara Bullet is a good actor, because he's been in multiple featured films now. This is the second one, and obviously Danny Trejo. If you guys didn't know, Danny Trejo. I'll say it one more time. Danny the fucking King Trejo is in this movie with our boy Shara Putin.
Sarah, what do you think about Shara as an actor here? What are you excited to see his big screen debut?
I actually kind of am,
Mm-hmm.
because I just don't know how it's gonna go. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So I'm excited to see that side of him, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
you think he's gonna be a supervillain or what?
oh, I have no idea. I don't know what the hell he'd be, honestly.
To be fair, I think this one's an easy one. I think this is an easy dead giveaway. This is obviously a Machete sequel. I mean, because Mike Tyson has been in a Machete film. I think there was also another one that he was in that was really stupid. It was called The China Salesman, I believe. Mike Tyson and Danny Trejo, I believe, and Steven Seagal. Don't let me forget the OG.
Oh wow.
Uh, Possibly this is what we're about to see here. Machete Steven Seagal sequel esque thing with Sharapuden being the villain, or the whatever you want to say. I think it's possible that that's what's going on here. Either that or um, I don't know, because the first film that we ever saw him have commercials for, or like a little trailer for, he was like a UPS driver or something. This right here looks a little offset. Danny Trejo, obviously, this is him in character. This is what he looks like in every film. Did anybody ever notice the tattoo? I don't know how you could miss the tattoo on his torso. Just a whole woman's torso in her head, just on your torso. Anybody else find that interesting? It
I
looks
love
cool,
it.
I think.
Oh yeah, I think it's awesome. I mean, Trejo's the man forever. He
Mhm.
definitely is a cool dude. Anything that he is in is elevated by his presence, I would say. Shara, on the other hand, I mean, like you'd mentioned, we have that UPS driver movie that he was in. We still don't know what that is or when that's actually coming out. So I guess he's getting more work. But what I had said, I think the comment I made in the Discord about this was like, bro, I don't want to have to keep watching more of your movies. So like, let these things actually get released and give us a little bit of time to assess.
Mhm.
Is what I would like. I mean, because yeah, he barely speaks English, which that has nothing to do with MMA. Like for the most part, I know some fans like the people who speak English more. Never really bothered me what your mic skills are when it comes to speaking English. But when it comes to a movie, that might be a little bit more important. So I would think that either he's going to be playing characters who don't speak very much, or they're going to be speaking somewhat, accented, broken English. And if that's the case, then there's only like a certain number of ways that you potentially can use that, I would say. I mean, like depending on what type of movie it is. So I just got to see what he's actually doing in these things and like what he's being used as before making a final assessment. But either way, just release something already and then I'll get a better picture of it, because we keep seeing these kinds of images come out and it doesn't give us anything aside from him hanging out with Trejo here.
I think what's funny is you're questioning all the wrong things. I mean, obviously, if it's a good movie and a good director is in charge, I mean, they can make Shara Putin have zero lines. I mean, look at Kill Bill. I mean, there's just nothing going on for a lot of it, and it's a pretty good fucking film. So Shara Putin, with the right director, could obviously make a good film. But you see him in a picture next to Danny Trejo, and you know he is never associated with a good director in his life. So leads you to believe that this movie is not going to be very good.
False. He was great in The Devil's Rejects,
Okay,
and
see, so
I
here
thought
we
I think
go.
Rob Zombie is a quality director.
All right, everybody, since it is Halloween time, you must go rewatch the Halloween remakes with Rob Zombie as the director. There's your one tidbit from Chase for the week. I will leave it at that. But like, yeah, genuinely speaking, Danny Trejo is not somebody that I would say is the guy that I would love to see in a Shara Putin original or whatever we got going on here. But this should be fun. I'm
We
really
just
excited.
all I'm saying is we need more information, and when I say more information, I mean an actual film that we can watch with our eyes.
Mhm.
So put one of those out and I'll make an assessment thereafter. But like, it's like he's been hovering in this space. We got a fight coming up tomorrow with Cyril Gahn. We reviewed an entire movie that Cyril Gahn was in. Pretty good, I mean, that was all right. But what we had said is that Cyril Gahn also walk in that line where it's like, is he actually still caring about the sport as much? Does he want to make movies and play FIFA at home? Like, where's Shara when it comes to that? I mean, he's obviously on set a whole bunch. How is that affecting his training? I want to know the entire story here, but one has to be good. So either you are great in the cage and your movies are okay, or you're great in your movies and your fights are okay.
I think you also made a great point earlier. Is like, or maybe you weren't even making the point, and I just picked it up. This dude should have waited until we saw his first performance before going ahead and making a second one. It's like, let's see if you're out for this. Like, if you, I mean, that UPS driver shit is probably ass, brother. We haven't even seen it. Like, and if it's probably that bad, no way should you be walking up here with the legend Danny Trejo. This dude makes high quality garbage. You are out here making indie garbage.
That's what I'm
So
talking about. I want to see it before I make an assessment. You know, I mean, we got to know what we're getting into with these projects. So
mhm.
release something, and then we will give it our full attention. It'll probably be something that we review on MMA on film at some point.
I didn't see this comment from Hydra, but it was very good. Sure, Putin
Oh
can
yeah.
act in anything but a romance where the characters kiss in public. Yeah, no, he would definitely have to assault them. I mean, and that's part of his character. It's a character flaw. I mean, that's literally what movies are made for, is so you understand that the characters have flaws and that they can build from them. So obviously, after he assaults the couple in public for kissing, he hangs out with Danny Trejo and they take over the world. I mean, it's just one and one. Those are the things that happen. So whether it's going to be good, we don't know. Obviously, if you guys didn't know, we will be reviewing this movie and the other one that Shara Putin is in. We will be talking about it once we figure out if they exist or if they got burned or sold for tax credits or whatever happens. I don't know.
Yeah, so many movies involving MMA fighters and MMA storylines, and we will get to all of them on MMA on film. That is a promise.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, guys, I think that is the last thing I have for this week. Is there anything that anybody wanted to go over that I didn't bring up? I mean, we can sit here and talk about Tom Aspinall some more. I would love to.
Yeah, I mean, well, really, you know, we have a guest. We don't always have a guest, so I want to make sure that Sarah gets her fair due as far as anything that she wants to discuss. Sarah, what else in the sport would you like to go over? Is there any other burning subjects before we go into 321 tomorrow?
Shit, it's Sean O'Malley's birthday. Happy
Oh,
birthday,
fuck.
Sean O'Malley.
Oh yes, of course. Happy birthday to the Rainbow Warrior. There, I know that you were telling me that you are also connected to his buddy Tommy McMillan. Is that correct?
Yeah, in a way. Yeah. I've been just like watching his Twitch streams and stuff and chit-chatting here and there on his Twitch streams. But yeah, he's really cool too. He's awesome.
Yeah, Tommy Gunn seems pretty legit. Obviously, Contender Series, bright and up and coming prospects. This dude, not somebody that I would say is gonna ever have dominant victories, because he does definitely looks like somebody that has to get punched a few times before he starts kicking it into overdrive. But somebody that I'm excited to watch. I mean, I can't tell you how memorable that Contender Series fight was, because genuinely I've never seen a dude almost break his neck and continue fighting. So that was cool.
That guillotine was, I told him the other day, I was like, that was some exorcist shit right there. Like, that was crazy. And he was like, I for real thought I was going to like break my neck. He was like, but, you know, he realized and thought about, you know, how bad he wanted it. And he was like, you know what? Let's just, let's focus on our breathing and let's just do it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He did the damn thing and then came back in the third round. And, you know, that was a damn good fight.
Yeah, that was definitely a good one. Go ahead, Thinker.
Also, as a you know, a tattoo connoisseur as you are, like, do you have any opinions about his infinite ammo Grand Theft Auto tattoo that he's got there? Is it awesome or is it cringe?
Look, I think it's dope. I like Grand Theft Auto, and it goes along with his name, Tommy Gun. So, I mean, it just kind of, it goes hand in hand. I think it's cool. I have no problem with it.
All right, Thinker, I'm glad you brought up the tattoos, because now we're going to have to really get into some good stuff. Tom Aspinall, I don't know if you've ever seen this dude's tattoos, but we can certainly talk about some good ones here. This dude, what is going on in the department over here? I can't even click on it, apparently. It's a Facebook link. But you see, he's getting the blacked out. Why is he going ahead with this? Look at the things that he has. Like, eventually, is he going to cover up all the cool stuff? I'm going to be upset, because there's some genuinely good. I mean, yeah. It might not even be him, but either way.
I love that. I love his back piece. I think it's awesome. And he just got his neck done and his throat, and he actually got on to me for not telling him how awful a throat tattoo felt, and I felt as if I was in trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the sleeve blackout is just because he just didn't really enjoy what was there before.
Mhm.
And I mean, what else can you do?
Yeah, that's always been my biggest issue is, it's more of a one and done thing. I mean, the second attempt is unfortunately what Tom Aspinall is going through. I mean, when you get tired of the other ones and you decide to do the blackout thing, I think we're going to have to figure out some reverse tattoo method for Tom and some other people in this world who want to do the blackout method. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Seems like a lot of shading. That's a lot of work. I'm not the biggest fan of long tattoo sessions. Sitting there having something pricking you for an entire portion of your arm to be black seems like it's the longest time ever. That might be an eternity. But shout out Tom. Actually, not one of the people that I genuinely look at and be like, wow, he really should not have got those tattoos. Like, he looks like the person that got enough tattoos that it's like, well, he's just a tattoo guy. Like, they all work for him because they're all there. Some people, they don't make tattoos work well. They have a bunch of BS on them. And some other ones, since we're talking about tattoos, this one I think is really funny to look at. Not funny, but like, I spelled tattoo wrong. I'm sorry. It's probably not even going to come up because, oh my gosh, it's not. But either way, he has a picture on his chest of fucking like his grandfather or something, and it's like the most detailed picture I've ever seen of a person ever. I can look at the picture and be like, that looks like a human being. It's not like I don't know. People in Brazil got really good tattoos. I don't know if anybody else knew this. This is a great thing to touch on. Brazilian tattoo artists kind of cook when it comes to facial features and things, and dogs. If you ever seen a dog on a Brazilian person, we see it a couple times in the UFC. Awesome artwork. I don't know. Just me.
True. Yeah, no, I mean, Charles Oliveira's got 3 across his chest, 3 faces,
Yeah. Yeah, he gets another one every fight, it seems. Yeah. Pretty good for him.
Thanos with the gauntlet, I guess,
Yeah.
Switching gears just a little bit. We did
Mhm.
talk about this a little bit earlier, but I did want to address Hydra's question here. He was asking, Sarah, if, knowing how locked in Tom is there anything different that he did for this training camp as opposed to any of his other ones that you might know of? Or was this just standard down the line because he is so locked in that he didn't really need to adjust very much?
So he has been working on grappling a lot more, which is something that he kind of shared with like his little community or whatever, rather than the big picture. So what he's kind of doing right now is showing little snippets, like the training videos that everybody's seeing is just small snippets of what he's been working on. But he did tell us that he's been working on grappling a lot more. So
do you think that we might be looking at a Tom Aspinall submission in this fight?
well, I mean, honestly, I hope not. I want him to knock him the fuck out, honestly. But look, I couldn't complain either way. There's no telling which way it'll go, and that's why this is the best sport in the world.
There you go. Very true.
Facts. Yeah, I do like the finish line on that because it'd probably be boosted a little bit. Be boosted because that submission in there, the people are like, nah, no way. But either way, I do like Tom Aspinall in this. It's gonna be a really good fight. I mean, if John Jones, like I said, 3 years off the couch, just walks in and takes him down and gets a choke on him. I mean, I don't necessarily think that choke is gonna be as easy. Hopefully, Surreal Khan has been training with the right people in the UAE. This is something we actually didn't mention. The Habib Nurmagomedov, I know, the legend, invited Surreal Khan to come train with him a while back. Surreal Khan, out of his pocket, called the first Muslim guy he knew in the UAE to train with. So I don't think that's going to fare well for him. Like, why would you not call up Habib at this point? If you wanted to go train with somebody, you're leaving Paris, you're going to go live there. The Magomedovs just fucking called you up, brother. Like, they literally summoned you. Like, what are you doing? You picked the first guy you found in the UAE, and it wasn't even Hamzat. So, what's the deal? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not the wisest navigation, but again, I think that it probably was conflicting with his shooting schedule. I'm telling you, this guy is 1 foot out of the game. So I said on the show, Cyril Gane has already completed his arc in this sport. There is not more that he needs to do as far as like more and interesting things. I think he's on to, in his own mind, bigger and better things. I think that he wanted to be a beloved figure in French MMA and in French media. And that is what he has transitioned to. He is a beloved figure in French MMA and in French media specifically.
There was one of the reporters towards the end of it, of the press conference. This is what I picked up from it, and it was funny to me, but maybe other people didn't read into it like this. So a guy was asking a question, and he was from France, in my opinion, because after he spoke in English, he would speak French. That seemed like a French guy to me. So he asked her, he was like, I see, you're obviously in the garb, you're celebrating the culture, you've moved over here, so are you just going to go live over here for good, or are you not coming back to France? It was really funny that he seemed like he was genuinely telling Surreal, go live in the UAE, do not come back to France. Yeah, it was funny, in my opinion.
Well, what was the answer, though? He did say he's coming back to France, right?
No, he was like, I've thought about it. I might stay out here. But like the other dude was just like, oh, fucking, of course, yeah, stay there, you fucking whatever. So,
Jesus.
it was funny to me. That's what I read from it. Like, he was real calm about it, but like the way that he worded it, it's like, so you're wearing your thing, you're going to the prayers, you're living over here, huh? So you're just gonna stay here forever now? Okay, bye. So I just thought it was funny, and I don't know. That was Surreal Gone, one of the most when we talked about the movie, obviously he has a good smile. He has a smile that makes you understand that he's just a lovable character in this world. Like, he's never really gonna show his ass too much and have to be the guy that gets like humbled kind of deal. So we got a lot of boring moments in the press conference where people would ask him how he's, what is he going to do against Tom Aspinall? And he's like, it's a great fight. I'm just really excited to be here, blah, 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 blah. Real down the line from Surreal. And I don't hate that from him, because he's not somebody that I really think needs to put on a character. Like, his character is just that giant, gentle, the gentle giant kind of guy. So it works for him. And I think it's pretty fun. Tom Aspinall, kind of the same way, doesn't have to be arrogant in any outward fashion. I mean, just being aware, he understands that he's not gonna be here forever. He could be gone tomorrow if he gets knocked out. I mean, whatever the case may be, Tom Aspinall is at least self-aware enough to make you feel like, just because he's the biggest, fastest, strongest, that's not the reason that he's going to win every time. So I kind of respect that from both of them, at least, because when you look at Surreal Gone, that dude's genetic freak. I mean, that dude he can step off the fucking couch and be chiseled. So,
well, yeah, and to his credit, all of the images leading up to this, he certainly is in amazing shape. I mean, he definitely has gotten his physique in line with what you'd hope it to be. But I just don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, I definitely am also in the same boat. Not going to matter much. Tom, when you watch the fights, like I said, it's like a 9-minute montage from start to finish of all of his performances. This dude, he's not just a striker. He does leave his chin a little up in the air, and he does get cracked sometimes, but there's no reason to respect the power of these people, because they haven't dropped him. He's only been the one to finish them. What I will say is interesting to note is that out of all the people that we've seen Tom Aspinall against that are relevant as of right now, at least, and I don't think this is going to fare well for a rematch, but at least Volkov was able to take the shots. He had to get submitted because he was actually faring well with the power of Tom Aspinall. He was getting butchered on the feet, and he eventually was going to die, but like, Tom Aspinall just was done fucking around with him after 30 fucking seconds or whatever, and just decided to go try to break his arm. So
yeah, and also put a hurting on Cyril Gane in the fight that Cyril Gane got a gifted win in. So
yeah, so
yeah.
I think Volkov is definitely an option after this Cyril Gane fight. Not trying to look past it, but in my opinion, I mean, from what I've seen before, and what I understand Tom Aspinall to be, I mean, I've only seen one live performance from Tom Aspinall. I mean, he's only fought one time in the last 2 years that I've been watching the sport consistently, and I'm excited to see the living legend be Tom Aspinall. This is going to be really fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so since we are coming up towards the end of the show, and I mean, we went over all of this on last week's fights, of course. Monday nights, you can watch myself and Chase on the podcast talking about each and every fight from the previous week. But since we do have a guest, I think it would be only appropriate if I switch this over to this here, and we get a little bit of Sarah's thoughts, at least on the main card. So we know what's going on here for Tom and Cyril Gahn. I think that we're pretty locked in with what you think about that one. But what about Virna Jandiroba and Mackenzie Dern? What are your thoughts here?
That one's going to be really difficult to judge for me because I do think Virna is really, really good. However, Dern won back at, what was it, UFC 256, I think, back in like 2020. She won. So with this being a rematch, it's going to be really hard to determine. I've got my fingers crossed, and not just because she's hot, but I like Mackenzie Dern. So I've got my fingers crossed that she wins again. But I don't know. I think Virna could give her a run for her money. She's been looking pretty damn good here lately. So
yeah, we got 2 extra rounds on this fight. I mean, do you think if the first fight was a 2-1 decision, I don't know exactly what it was, but in that case, it was 2-1 Mackenzie Dern, 2 extra rounds. I mean, what is Mackenzie doing, differently in this fight to make sure that she's going to hold the lead for those last 2 rounds? But if we get those.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of depends on if we even get those rounds, which would be dope, honestly. I don't mind whenever like fights go the distance. That just means I get to watch more fight.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. It was unanimous. It was a unanimous decision for Dern last time. So I don't know.
So you're going Dern for sure.
I think so.
Locking it in, right? All right.
Oof.
Fair. I mean, I think that if Dern, I think that if she's smart, she might try to keep it on the feet for as long as she can. I think that her striking's a little bit stronger than Virna's. And both of these ladies obviously very skilled in jiu-jitsu. So it's going to be a little bit of a negation there, I would say. And I don't think that she's necessarily going to want to try to go, grapple for grapple with Virna Jandiroba if she knows what's good for her. So I think that Mackenzie should probably try to use her striking, use her length a little bit. Not super taller compared to Virna, but a little bit reach wise. Well, actually, no, I guess Virna does have a little bit more reach, but either way, I still just try to keep distance regardless, because I think that that's going to be a lot better than Virna getting her hands on her. We've seen what Virna can do now when it comes to getting people to the ground and controlling, and Mackenzie Dern is controllable. So I was talking about on the podcast saying that we've seen her in the CJI not too long ago being controlled in straight BJJ. So add some striking to it. That might be the better option for her.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, then now further down on this main card, Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Bautista. What are you thinking, Sarah?
I don't know. This one will be a little bit difficult as well, because, I mean, you got Umar coming off of his first loss here. So I'm wondering if maybe that'll mess with them a little bit. Maybe. But you got Bautista here, who is on this like hot streak. His aura is like here, you know what I mean? He is feeling himself. So I know like the confidence has to be like soaring, you know what I mean? And I bet that has something to do with his performance. So I think I'm going to go Bautista for this one.
Nice. I think I kind of like that one. I in the press conference, I think Umar does a very good job of playing the cool guy act. I don't think he plays his hand too much into letting people know if he's, less confident or more confident. I think he does a good job of deflecting it off of like his emotion necessarily. He's good at just kind of being there, and the questions don't have to reflect what his performance is going to be like. But I do think the first loss in your career, that is something to think about. I mean, will he change the game plan, or is the game plan going to stay the same because that's what has got us to 18-0, or are we going to understand that this is the game plan that got us our first loss, which is going to be the mindset that he goes in here with. Mario Bautista, I mean, you guys got to remember, this is only a dude that's 16-2, but when you're 16-2 and you're in a position that Bautista is, that he's taken those losses, different increments in his career. It's not like one dramatic moment in your life where like, I've just lost everything. It's like, okay, I've lost some, I've won some. Now I'm going up against somebody that I could just take the championship opportunity away from. Arguably, Mario should have, been in contention for that title shot as of what it is, because the Peter Yan rematch is kind of like washed at this moment. I mean, we probably know what's going to happen here. We saw what
Oh.
happened in the first one, mate. You saw what happened in the first one.
We were talking about Mackenzie Dern and Virna Janjadova. I mean, you don't think that there's some similarities? I think that there could be a different outcome. Maybe. I'm not saying that there will be, but I think it's necessary because Piotr now, just on that point specifically, I think that with Piotr, he's really the last of like the people that are the upper echelon of bantamweight, to the point that now Merab as champion, Merab needs to just eliminate so that he can rightfully claim his GOAT status. So that's why that's happening. But you're not wrong. Bautista in that conversation makes sense. And then a win over Umar would certainly make that a lot more palatable for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think this is actually a pretty good fight, but again, I don't think it's gonna be fireworks. This is gonna be not the when it comes to bantamweight. Yes, you do get a decent amount of the scrambles, but when you have somebody as good of a wrestler as Nurmagomedov, he normally is able to hold them down. And when you have somebody who's as decent of a grappler as Batista, he's probably not going to get held down as much. So scrambles are likely, but I think, again, I said this on the podcast, we're going to get that middle ground area, I think, here, where we're going to have cage clinching, knee up, knee down, one person fishing for a leg and trying to trip while the other one's getting, scooting to the cage. Things like that are what's going to happen, I think. Umar might be able to get a nice little judo sweep on Bautista, but I think that might be a one and done thing, and then he's too wise for it. So I don't really know what to expect here. I think there's a lot of things that could happen, but plus 450 for Bautista is pretty crazy. So.
Yeah, no, I mean it should be a pretty big signal to a lot of people. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I want to see some striking. Was what I really like. I mean, let Mario. He's got fast hands. I mean, he's a dude who actually can strike pretty well when he lets his hands go. So if you know what you're getting into with your opponent, and you also have the confidence to handle it, then every fight starts on the feet. Let the hands go until you need to switch course and see what happens with that. Because I mean, Umar is good with his kicks, but hands not always as slick. So I think that there's probably potential there. Overwhelm him a little bit. I think hopefully what Sarah's saying about the confidence is what Mario is riding here, and comes in with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. This guy is not as good as me. He didn't deserve the title shot to begin with. Those kinds of thoughts, they might end up biting him in the ass, but until they don't, go and ride that out and try to big brother him a little bit.
Question for Sarah first, and then Thinker, you can go ahead. Do you think Umar is only as good as his coaching on the day?
I would say yes.
Okay.
I would say yes. I do believe that. Yeah, I would say yes.
Yeah, so I mean, if he has Habib in the corner, of course, I mean, this dude's going to be on his fucking A game. But if this is something where he's not able to have Habib there, maybe Habib is obviously going to be in his corner for the rest of his career. Who knows? Umar maybe knows. But if that's something that is a difference in this, if Habib apparently is just not in this corner for this fight, he already took his loss. I mean, now he's got to move on to his different prospect who's undefeated. So who knows?
Well,
is Umar going to be able to perform at the highest level that he has been?
I mean, I would suspect that Habib is going to be there, but Habib was also there for the Merab fight. And I mean, now granted, Umar broke his hand in that fight, so hopefully that won't happen, and it'll be a little bit more, even as far as the health side of things. But if you recall, during the Merab fight, Habib was pretty animated. He was not, he was not passive in any which way. I mean, certainly not a calming presence, I would say. He really was going the light of fire under your fighter's ass kind of route, and really reading Umar the riot act at times. So I don't know if that's going to necessarily help or hurt when Umar is at full capacity, but I would suspect that if he starts losing, this is a 3-round fight, so it's going to be pretty early. If you see between round 1 and 2 that Habib is in there, he's going to be giving him a lot of, extra encouragement, I guess you could maybe say.
I think Dylan just made a good point. Even if Bautista, quote unquote, wins, I think scorecards are likely going to lead in Umar's favor. Yeah, that's exactly true. We're in Abu Dhabi. So, I mean, we're going to get the favoritism. We're going to have one of the judges named Muhammad. It's definitely gonna happen, and he's probably gonna vote that Umar smokes him 30-27 when it is likely close all 3 rounds.
Well, I guess that's a good question for, in a general sense. Are we going to be seeing a lot of fuckery when it comes to judges and referees, do you think, Sarah?
There always is.
Mm.
Good
There
point,
always
right?
is a lot of fuckery.
Yeah, no matter where you are, it's true. Everywhere on the planet, how we are at this level of the sport at this time in the sport's history, and we are still dealing with the same things that we are dealing with week over week with referees and judges and the commissions is just it's mind-boggling, I would say.
And now it's perfect time to ask in this day and era. I mean, you are always, like you just said, there's always fuckery going on. Is it now time that we have an AI ref and scoring? I mean,
Ooh.
Like
it
PFL.
no, not like PFL because they don't use it and it
Oh, you
doesn't
mean like
work.
actually deciding the fights?
I mean, like an actual. I know it's crazy to think about, but like the only reason that we can say it's wrong is because of human error, and we have plenty of other instances to base it off of. But if there was a clear cut way, I'm not saying it's actually going to work out that way, but like, is AI what you guys want? You want no human error in this sport.
Now, I see. I would not be in favor of it personally, for that exact reason. I think that if you start taking the humanity out of the sport, then you're essentially taking one of the most important elements away from the sport. The human nature of this sport is kind of what it's founded on. Two people enter the cage, they are, officiated by another human being, and then the better human being wins. If you start adding computers into the mix, it turns it into something that I would not be in favor of.
Well, then we better just strap in for the debauchery. I mean, there's going to be some fun stuff going on in this card. We're going to have some sway judges. We're going to have Kerry Hatley waiting for a stoppage that he's just going to keep watching the dude lifeless body on. And who knows if we're actually going to get to see our boy, whatever the deaf guy is. I forget him. But if
Oh,
he's
Dan
actually,
Mergliata, yeah,
if
yeah.
Mergliana's actually going to be full time for this event, because I assume when the event starts, you have your list of where you're going to referee. You're going to referee this, 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 this. So when you make a mistake, it's like they don't normally pull you out like that one. The one judge that one time. Like they don't do that for refs. I don't think.
Oh, they
Uh,
do. They definitely do if it's bad enough. Because I
oh,
remember
okay.
the great example of that was on Paris's first card, and I forget the guy's name, but I it referenced it on a Yama episode. It was the worst refereeing of all time. It was actually in one of Benoit Saint Denis' earlier fights. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
go back to the first Paris card. That referee in Benoit Saint Denis' fight, he ended up getting pulled from the event because of how poorly he officiated. So yeah, if you do bad enough, they will pull you, but like it takes a lot.
Yeah. And you have to actually not be one of the better ones in the sport. So
Right.
I guess that's probably part of it too.
Sure. So I guess we'll find out about that soon enough. But just to continue on with these predictions from Sarah's side of things, Volkov and Jailton Almeida, we talked about Jailton earlier in the DC comments. Are you agreeing with Daniel Cormier? Do you think Jailton Almeida cannot fight?
I don't think that he necessarily can't fight. Do I think he's phenomenal? No.
Mhm.
But this is going to be more so of like the veteran versus like the rising star, you know what I mean? So it'll be an interesting kind of matchup to see what goes on. But I don't think he can't fight. I think he's all right, but he's nothing like star material. Do I think
Mm.
he could climb to the top and beat Tom Aspinall? No. I just
Yeah. What I will say about this is Alexander Volkov, this is going into his 50th pro mixed martial arts fight. And when you say something like that, you would presumably believe like, oh, he's seen it all. He's seen everything that you could see out of heavyweights. And he's even seen Tom Aspinall.
Mhm.
But I genuinely don't think he's seen something like Jailton Almeida. I mean, it's kind of it's different eras of heavyweights coming in here. I mean, yes, Volkov has probably faced shorter, faster grapplers than him, but like Jailton is just honestly, he's a true light heavyweight who's competing at heavyweight and is able to ragdoll them around. It's not like he moved up and it's a close, competitive grind between him and somebody else. It's like he is genuinely lifting the fatties at heavyweight off of their feet and then taking them down and choking them out. And it's like pretty impressed. Like he got the Fat Guy Strangler nickname for a reason, guys. I mean, this guy is genuinely good at what he does. Volkov is not that, but he is tall. He is sluggish, but he is decent enough on the feet that he beat Pavlovich. I mean, I know that was after Tom Aspinall made Pavlovich turn into something that he's never gonna, he's gonna be for the rest of his career. But Jailton Almeida, again, when it comes to can't fight, honestly, DC's cooking because he's not really, dude. He's a grappler. He can grapple. I'll give you that. If you would have been like that dude can grapple, I'd be like, there you go. But he can't fight. I'd be like, okay, he's kind of cooking. But he started with the can't fight thing and didn't give him the grappling props. I think Jailton Almeida is one of the better grapplers that we have in this sport as a whole. And then when you put him at heavyweight, he's already levels above the competition, and it's just only heightened more by what he's able to do against the people that are quote unquote the top of the division. The Curtis Blade shit, don't even worry about that fluke stoppage. Fuck it. Don't even worry about it. We're moving on. Volkov, we're gonna choke him out, and we're gonna rightfully be in place for the belt because we just beat the guy who beat the guy who's fighting for the belt. So
That's and I mean that's really my assessment as well. Is it's the skill set that makes Almeida so impactful. I mean, granted, you're right. He like what I had always said, especially after some of the losses, is like he needs to become more acquainted with his striking coach. I mean, that's the only thing that he is missing is solid striking fundamentals because the rest of the game is in place and he utilizes it very well. He uses it extremely effectively. So that's going to be the thing that'll take him farther if he can get the game plan off. I wish he was a little bit more well-rounded because that would make him that much more effective everywhere. But what he does well, he does really well in a division that a lot of people don't do it well. I mean, that's the biggest problem. That's what I've been saying about them bringing these new guys in at heavyweight who are potentially wrestlers and grapplers. They're trying to beef it up with more well-rounded and versatile competition because there's just not enough of it at heavyweight. So Jailton represents a big threat to anybody whose name is not Tom Aspinall, I'd say.
100%.
All right.
So wait, so who are you going with?
Oh yeah. What's the final verdict?
Fuck. Honestly, I'm gonna say Almeida.
Nice.
Oh, all right. Swung back around. I can appreciate it. I think that's what both of us were saying as well.
Yeah.
And then to finish off main card here, Alexander Rakic versus Azamat Murzakanov. Murzakanov with that undefeated status. What are you thinking, Sarah?
This one, I don't really know, and I don't think I know enough to have a concrete decision here.
Yeah, this is another one of these guys that is magically undefeated, but you only watch them fight every blue moon or something. Like I can't tell you, Asmat, I can't tell you anybody that he's beaten convincingly, but I know he's on a big finish streak. I know he knocks a bunch of people out apparently. But what I will say, Alexander Rakic, when I saw him fight Yuri, the first round that fight went on for, it went on to the second, but the first round specifically, I thought Rakic showed me exactly what he could do to be a very competitive opponent in this division. He's lightning quick when it comes to leg kicks, and once you're able to use those effectively early, I mean, somebody like Murzakanov, I mean, who's never really seen the adversity that somebody, Rakic could literally just chop his legs 3 times in the first round as quick as possible, and then now this dude's limping around for the rest of the fight. I think it's as easy as that. Rakic could, he has the ability to chip away at people because he sets up his game plan well. I mean, Yuri is one of these people that you don't chip away at. I mean, you think you are, but by the end, I mean, you've fallen right into his trap, buddy. But when it comes to Murzakanov, I'm telling you, I think a couple leg kicks are really going to just drop this dude right into a position where he's going to be limping around. He's not going to be as quick. The power's not going to be there because he's not going to be able to overextend into these punches. Rakic is super fucking long. Look at the reach disadvantage here. 78 compared to 71 and a half.
But this is where I think that your own argument's going to come back to bite you because I think that Murzakanov being the smaller guy, get right past those kicks, brother. Go in. He's a dude who has a solid, sturdy base, gets past the kicks early, clinches him up, negates the distance. That's what you got to do. Get him, get your hands on him and wrestle him around to the point where he can't get his game plan off. Rakic on the ground is a lot less effective than Rakic at range.
This is actually a really good point made by the chat, dude. He's 5'10" at light heavyweight. Like that's pretty ridiculous. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. And
yeah,
being
he
the
said
same size.
Armin. Armin is funny that he said, but yeah, Asmat, I know what you mean. Yeah, 5'10" is pretty nuts. Alexander Rakic, again, one of these taller, slender, and very light, again, lightning quick athletes when it comes to the light heavyweight.
But that's
Go
what
ahead.
I'm saying, though, is that what we just saw with Yusri Belgarwi, and the fight that he just had,
With Azamat, literally same it.
with the other Azamat. Azamat in that fight was able to get past the ranginess early. He just didn't do enough with it. I think that Mirzakhanov here has the ability to actually do something with it, tire him out, get him so that he's not able to have the long, effective ranginess. And then he starts getting a little bit too gassed midway through this fight. Then the striking from Azamat gets a little bit more effective. Rakic doesn't get the kicks off.
What I find super funny about this is like Vegas knows how fluky of this guy's record is. I mean, this is Alexander Rakic. He's 14-5. If I told you that record on anybody's name, you would rightfully assume they are not very good. Azamat Murzakanov is 15-0, and Alexander Rakic is the bigger favorite here. I mean, it genuinely, not that they know something, but they know that Azamat isn't rightfully trusted to be a big favorite, and it's pretty crazy at 15-0. You just don't see it very often. These are normally your guys that you would think are running through their competition. And Azamat, again, somebody that doesn't fight very often. Maybe they're accounting for some sort of ring rust, but I think Alexander Rakic, unfortunately in this case, is getting too much fucking credit, because I would take him at a massive dog, but no way would I take him at the favorite in this matchup, because I don't think he rightfully should be against somebody who's 15-0. That just doesn't add up to me, because I've seen you lose 2 different times already. But rightfully, I would take the big dog if it was there. It's just not.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I mean, at least on like a straight or a parlay with somebody that I'm super confident in. But yeah, Rakic he's let me down. To be perfectly honest, I've seen him a couple of times now. I mean, I've seen most of his fights in the UFC, if not all of them. And it's like he has a lot of good qualities. He's got a lot of good physicality, and he's very athletic. But I think that he sticks a little bit too closely to a game plan that has holes in it. I mean, granted, Yuri is a bit of an outlier with that, but like if you are so confident in your kicks that it's the only thing that you're really going to be doing, I mean, he throws his hands a little bit, but not as much as his kicks. His kicks, that's the bread and butter for this guy. And when you've got a smaller guy who can bum rush you, I mean, a single double leg will change the entire trajectory of this fight.
Yeah, but I'm glad you even brought that up, because I don't think that's going to be the method of winning. But if you look at Dylan on everything, who's literally been on everything on these
Cooking over
comments
here,
right here,
yes.
yeah, his takedown defense is really good. 17 or 18 stuffed on Jan, so that's pretty dang good. And he actually just came off of a fight with Magomed Ankalaev, which it went to decision. It was very boring, but he didn't get finished and he didn't get chipped away. So the fact that he's able to get a fight to the judge's decision with Magomed Ankalaev, that's fair enough for me. Mirzakhanov, like Dylan just said, takes him into round 2, and I think Mirzakhanov is going to slowly get chipped away by Alexander Rakic leg kicks.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess we will see. I'm going to stick with my guns over here, and I think Mirzakhanov does the opposite way of it.
So when is it? When are you gonna be like, okay, it's not it? Is it at 15-0, 16-0, 17-0? Like when is, if it's not Rakic now, surely the next opponent you have to rightfully assume is going to beat him. Like he's just not gonna be undefeated forever. How
do you
how
know?
long is
I
this
mean,
gonna go?
you don't know. B, I mean, again, if it's not Rakic, then I need to know who the actual opponent is, because again, I'm looking at this.
There's only people that it could be. I mean, after Rakic, I mean, he just fought the dude who just fought for the belt. So if
Right,
it's
but that's
not,
so again, we go to the echelons that I talk about often, the levels and the layers of this thing. Rakic is right there at the top of the middle to me. If Azamat can beat him, then now he is in the upper echelon. That's a whole different conversation with a lot of fighters, A, that are better than Rakic, and B, have already beaten Rakic. So that the conversation does change. But right now, I've been let down by Rakic, and I have not been let down by Mirzakhanov. So I go with what has been working for me until it doesn't. Same with Paddy Pimblett. Same as why Paddy should be getting this title shot.
Fair. I definitely agree with you. Go with what you feel is right. If it's Azamat Mirzakhanov, I'm not the one to say so, but listen, this dude is 15-0. You could never go wrong betting on the dude who's done it 15 times and never been upset. So
I mean, just show me. I mean, like, again, because I've seen what happens when Rakic doesn't get his way. And that's, I think, what I'm talking about here. Like, if Mirzakhanov comes in with a game plan that can negate the range, that's all that you really got to do, at least early, at least to tire him out. After that, we got to see what his gas tank is like at that point. If he ends up gassing himself, he is a big, kind of stocky guy, carries a lot of weight on the frame. So there is potential for him to gas. If that's the case, it might be a little bit different, but I've seen enough so far from both of these guys to know where my gut is lying.
Hell yeah, I think I can get behind that. So what was your take, Sarah? Who are you taking here?
I don't know. After, because let's be real, I don't know that I have seen enough to have a concrete decision of my own. After what I've heard.
Yeah, break our hearts here. Pick one.
Yeah.
Shit, I don't know.
Who made the better argument?
I think I'm gonna go. Oh fuck, Chase! I think you're right.
There we go. Rakic it is.
All right. I'll be
dubs.
I'll be the lone descender over here, but then I want all of the praise if I am correct. So I'm going to need some social media tweets and all of that. I want adulation rain down on me. Thinker, you were right. You're the best. Galaxy Brain St. James. I'm going to be hearing it from both of you. Okay.
Hell yeah.
I'll even put it in the Discord. I got you.
I love it. All right. Well, I mean, that's it for the main card of this thing. So I guess that's about it. Was there anything else we wanted to go over before we sign off on this deal here?
No, I think I've ran through everything through this week that I've gathered to let you guys know and keep you guys updated. All the fun stuff that I thought was really interesting, and obviously, again, the tragedy of MMA is another thing that we were touching on during this episode. But for the better parts of it, they were very, very fun. And I'm glad everybody, you got you two here with me, and it was a good time. So
absolutely. Well, so Sarah, let everybody know where they can find you, all of your information, whatever you'd like to share with everybody so that they can keep up with all things Sarah Toby.
Yeah,
all
100%.
Right. If you guys have Snapchat, you can find me on Snapchat. It's going to be Sarah Toby 666. Or you can find me on Instagram. That's going to be Sarah.Toby666.
Hell yeah.
All right. And of course, you can find myself and the Vitz King tomorrow morning doing our watch along of this thing bright and early. Everybody in the chat, remember that we are live at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time for this event coming up. So we will be doing the damn thing, and you can see us at youtube.com/@YamaShow, @YamaShow on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Chase, what about you?
You guys can find me every Saturday on youtube.com/@CPSmalls. That'll be watching some UFC stuff. Obviously, when I can have the time, on Fridays, we will be watching one championship, which, if you didn't know, there's a big one card coming up November 16th. I believe it's a Sunday. It is in Tokyo. It is going to be one of the biggest one cards ever. So both of you should be sure to watch that one. And everybody else out there listening, be sure to catch up with me when that is going down. I'm very excited for that. So always love to be able to announce that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much to Sarah for joining us today. It's been wonderful having you on the show. And thank you very much to everybody who has been in the chat. Appreciate all of you guys giving us your insights and your opinions on the sport. Of course, we will be back on Monday to talk about all of the fights from tomorrow on the Last Week's Fights podcast, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday nights, myself and Chase going over each and every fight from the event. So if you are new, make sure that you are subscribed, make sure that you're following on the platforms of your choice, and we will reconvene with you very soon. So have a great rest of your night. Enjoy the fights tomorrow, hopefully with us, and we will see you later. Take good care, everybody.
Change.